Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Tony Wilkin-Gibbard of Midwest Environmental Advocates, and this is the second annual and first virtual Bill Iwen Environmental Justice Award event. Right off the bat, I want to thank our sponsors, Jody Hager-Sinekin and Dan Sinekin, our stewardship level sponsors, Peter McAvoy and Jacqueline Boyton, and our community sponsors, the College of Menominee Nation, Tim Bach, John Schaefer, and Allie Raven. Thank you all so much for your support this evening and your support of MEA. For everyone, I want you to know at the end of the evening, we'll ask you to consider a contribution to MEA. And right now there's a link to the donation page of our website if you'd like to make a gift. I especially, before we get too much further, want to thank Philomena, Kebec and Rafael Smith. We're gathering right now at a moment of transition and transformation when so much hangs in the balance, and I know that we all feel that. So in the short time that we spend together, we of course want to lift up our award winners, but we also want to lift up each of you. Because tonight we are celebrating something that is as simple as it is profound. We are celebrating what is really the only thing that has ever moved us towards justice. People like Rafael and Philomena, people like Charlotte Birol and Bill Iwen, people like Mandela Barnes and Winona LaDuke. People who get up each day motivated by compassion and love for their communities to work for the greater good. Our award winners are those kinds of people. And as you'll learn, they are exceptional. But as we celebrate them, we celebrate that what motivates them is not necessarily exceptional. That motivation to defend one's community, the environment, for future generations, that motivation abounds. That's something that we know very well at Midwest Environmental Advocates. Well, I'm just in my first year at MEA. Midwest Environmental Advocates is the only public interest environmental law center that works directly with individuals and grassroots groups. And over that 20-year history, we've worked with countless champions to defend healthy water, land, air, and government for this generation and the next. And that experience has taught us that while the threats we face are significant, the power of people who are willing to persistently act as stewards and advocates for environmental justice is even greater. What do we mean by that term, environmental justice? Well, tonight you will hear answers from Kewaunee County on the Door Peninsula. You'll hear answers from the heart of the Ojibwe homeland. You'll hear answers from the north side of Milwaukee. One answer is that environmental justice is about giving power back to communities that have been on the receiving end of environmental harm, who have been shut out by the decisions that determine our health and our future. In this video, which we'll show you, you'll learn that MEA is all about connecting people back to their power, assisting them and standing with them from the highest courts of the land to the humblest town board meetings, standing with them when special interests would attempt to use the law to shut down their voices, and standing with them to bring about the law's potential to create a more just future for us all. I'll be right back with you after the video.
The waters of Wisconsin belong to us, the people of Wisconsin. The state holds them in trust solely for our benefit. Underlying every action of the legislature and the DNR is the fundamental fact that they act not as owners, but as trustees for the true owners, we the people. I am proud of the work that MEA has done over the last 20 years. There was a big hole that needed to be filled when the public intervener was abolished. And MEA has done that beautifully.
One of the foundations of Midwest Environmental Advocates is to empower people who haven't participated before
The attorneys at MEA are changing the course of history, really, in Wisconsin.
They work with us. They don't work on behalf of us, they work with us. MEA stood by and took action on our behalf, and that's, for me, the most important thing. Win or lose, we were better off because of our relationship with MEA.
Whenever something new happens, MEA is kind of ready to jump back in and help us out.
MEA really cares. MEA makes us feel like they're passionate about what we're doing, part of the team. MEA isn't just a resource, but they become teammates in the fight.
The heart and soul of MEA, in part, is that we're part of the multi-generational legacy of Wisconsin's conservation history. And Wisconsin has a long, long history of citizens stepping up to protect our air, land, and water, you know, for over 100 years.
And if you stand for something, but you don't take action, then you have to ask yourself, do you really stand for something?
Welcome back. I said that we would start part of our time together and it would take us to Kewanee County, and that's where we're going, to this award's namesake, Bill Iwen. MEA has had a partnership with the people of Kewanee County that is almost older than our organization. We have stood with families who suffer from contaminated groundwater, and we're continuing to represent Kewanee County residents before the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Those efforts, at the foundation of all of them, are people like Bill Iwen. And so I'm proud to introduce Charlotte Byrell, who will tell us more about Bill Iwen. She is the inaugural award winner, and she will tell us more about his legacy.
Bill Iwen is a lifelong resident of Kewanee County, and he came to this work not by profession, but as a person who decided to do something. When CAFOs began to proliferate our region and impair our waterways, Bill was on the case. He knew that in order to take on Goliath, direct community action was the only path. Bill called out the gaslighting and the victim blaming by Big Ag and its sympathizers. He relied on science and believed the stories of his neighbors. Bill led by example, teaching folks how to document and report manure runoff events. But most importantly, Bill encouraged people to stand in front of the microphone and, in their own words, tell their stories to decision makers. Bill's advocacy inspires us to remain steady in the face of corruption and government dysfunction. My work is primarily electoral, including recruiting folks who are directly impacted by bad policy to run for office. It's important to hold elected officials accountable, but it is critical that we take preventative action and demand equitable representation on all boards, all committees, elected seats, and in all halls of power. The Bill Iwen Award reminds us that we cannot separate social justice from environmental justice. We cannot ignore the structural racism and historical trauma that has fostered these silos. This award is a reminder that humanity is at the core of our work. Many blessings and congratulations to Philomena and Rafael.
We're grateful to Charlotte for carrying on the legacy of this award so well, and for making that statement for us tonight. And with that context set, we are set to begin the award portion of the event. And so it is really my great honor to turn the program over to Winona, LaDuke. Before I do that, I just want to say, I'm coming to you from my home, and in my home, my partner and I have a small set of portraits of social justice leaders, past and present, serving as reminders of the kind of people we want to be. And Winona's picture has been on that wall for many years. For those of you who don't know, she is an enrolled member of the Mississippi Band of Anishinaabe and an author, an activist, an environmentalist. She is the executive director of Honor the Earth, which uses Indigenous wisdom, art, music, and media to raise awareness about Indigenous environmental issues. MEA was proud to represent Honor the Earth before the Wisconsin Public Service Commission in our challenge to Enbridge Energy's application for eminent domain authority to construct a new line segment of Line 5 around the reservation of the Bad River Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. And we will continue to stand with Honor the Earth and other organizations like Philomena's organization, the Great Lakes Intertribal Fish and Wildlife Commission, to oppose Line 5's threat to the Bad River watershed, to the climate, and to the treaty rights and the sacred lands of the Ojibwe people. So with that, I'll turn it over to Winona, LaDuke.
Anin and Dinaway Muganatuk, Anin Anishinaabe. I'm here, it's Winona LaDuke, to acknowledge and recognize Philomena Kebec as one of the leaders in our community to protect our water, to protect our future generations, and to protect our sacred Menomen. Ever since Philomena Kebec has been out of college, she has been at the front lines of the legal battles of our tribes in the northern country to protect our treaty rights, to protect our water. She has worked tirelessly for our communities with great love, with great support, and with great attention to all of the details of our culture and way of life and our practice. So here we are tonight. This young woman is an attorney for the Great Lakes Fish and Wildlife. She's a Ashland County Board of Supervisors member, and she is the future generation of leaders, as she is now for all of our people in the North Country, including our Anishinaabe people. I am grateful to you, Philomena Kebec, for your good and tireless work for our communities. And I'd like to present this award to you on behalf of the people of Minnesota, the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, and beyond. You're a great leader, and tonight is your night. Miigwech.
Philomena, I couldn't say it better than that. I just want to extend our congratulations on behalf of MEA's staff and board. I will turn the floor over to you.
You know, wow, this is really this is an unexpected honor, and my daughter. I'm in my home too. We're all in our homes now, and it's been, you know, it's been really challenging with the coronavirus and the pandemic to figure out how we're going to continue to do all of our work, our advocacy, and so this is great. I'm glad we're doing stuff like this and getting together and talking about, you know, just regular people doing work that's for the common good. So, you know, I think my parents are both on the line, and I just want to acknowledge them real quick. My mom is Allie Raven, and my dad is Edwin McCullough, and these guys are, that's okay. You know, my parents I don't thank them enough, and they've given me so much. They're really the examples that I have for citizen advocacy. My mom has been a stereotype buster in terms of gender, you know, gender stereotypes and all that. And she worked hard to have a very successful career. In the 80s, she had the shoulder pads up to here with her suits, going to work every day in a field that she really wasn't supposed to be in as a woman. And you know, my dad has been an attorney working in the field of consumer protection, consumer advocacy, fighting for the little guy against big corporations. And he's done a tremendous amount of environmental advocacy on climate change and wilderness protection and different things. So, you know, we don't come to these places alone. I came home to Bad River about 9 years ago, and that was because of the Pinocchio mine fight that we were all dealing with. You know, one of my first meetings at Bad River was with attorneys from Minnesota or Midwest environmental advocates, and you know, they're with us. They've been with us all the way in terms of from the Bad River community. You know, when I came home, I finally felt like I belonged, because wherever I go, there are people in this community who are strong advocates, and they speak for Maingan, and they speak for the water, and they speak for the land, and they speak for the future. They protect. You know, we have midwives in our community, and all these people with tremendous gifts and like tons of generosity. And so I feel like, you know, in accepting this award, I'm very honored to accept this award. I'm accepting this for Bad River because you know, I'm one among many people who are doing this work and who will continue to do this work. You know, I have kids, and my kids are great, and they my kids and my family are, you know, really support the passion that I have and the work. I'm not always the kind of mom who is there every second, and you know, my kids end up doing some good stuff. You know, sometimes my daughter is she's a pretty good babysitter, and she'll even make dinner sometimes, and it's great. And you know, I feel like my responsibility as a parent and a member in the community is to continue to demonstrate through my own work and my own actions what it means to be you know, what it means to be an advocate for future generations. And that sometimes it's you know, sometimes it's pretty thankless, and you really have to put your nose to the grinder and do some stuff that's maybe not as fun as you'd like to do. I'm in local government right now, and so I sit through a lot of meetings, and you know, government democracy, it takes a lot of time, and you know, people have different things that they're concerned about and worried about, and you know, and so it's about being patient, building relationships, listening to people, and you know, and finding common ground. We're dealing with you know, we're dealing in this world with a lot of our historical trauma. You know, every day we're fighting against reclaiming stuff that was taken from colonialism, but also we have a lot of gifts, and we have a lot of different community members, and we're able to you know, we're now able to work all together. And so I really appreciate this honor, and I appreciate the fact that Midwest Environmental Advocates continues to be a strong support and part of the network that assists on issues related to on-reservation activities, and thinking through like how they can support off-reservation activities as well. You know, GlyphWIC itself, I work for GlyphWIC. GlyphWIC doesn't take any positions on projects or issues, but what we do is we focus on the science. And so it's you know, it's good that we have that we're able to work with attorneys and other organizations like at Midwest Environmental Advocates that are really deeply involved in the science, and making sure that there's citizen participation in these very incredibly important decisions that are being made on the environment every day. With that, I'm going to end miigwech, and congratulations to Rafael.
Miigwech, Phoebe. And it's interesting that you talk about the beginnings of your career and the connection to Midwest Environmental Advocates, because I was going to tell you that I think it was my first legal team meeting when I started at MEA. My colleagues were singing your praises and talking about the fantastic job that you did in testifying to the legislature on the felony trespass bill related to pipeline and energy infrastructure trespass. And you know, there are many colleagues and I'm sure friends out there who, if we were having an event in person, would be telling you how much you deserve this award. Because we can't do that, we have a video here to replicate what that would be like, at least in some small degree. So let's play that video now.
Hey Phoebe, congratulations on your award. We so appreciate everything you do to help tribal members exercise their treaty rights and appreciate your passion for that work.
Greetings, Phoebe. Hi. Boy, if anybody deserves an award like this, it's you. I just can't believe the amount of things you get done in a day. If we all worked as hard as you, the world would be quite a different place. So congratulations, Philomena. I love you, and I will do anything to support you. You take care. Thanks.
All the beings here and far beyond are better off because of your expert, diligent, and passionate work. We are deeply grateful to have you in our lives.
Anin, my name is Mick Isham, and I'm the Executive Administrator of the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission. And when I heard that Philomena, Quebec had won an award from the Midwest Environmental Advocates, one, I wasn't surprised, and two, I wanted to put together this tiny video to let her know how much of an impact that she's had on my life and my community's life, and thank her for that. Phoebe's impact on my life was instant. First time I seen her, she was wailing on a state official, and I believe the issue was violations of the Clean Water Act that the state was failing to enforce. And she did it with such passion and such intensity. And as I got to know her, I found that she brought that same passion and intensity to all these issues that she works on. She works on tribal issues. She works on women's issues, environmental justice issues. She helps the homeless. She helps people with substance abuse. She will represent individuals in legal matters that otherwise had no legal representation at all. And she does this on a daily basis. And now that I'm her boss at the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission, I see her do this every single day. And in this day and age, sometimes it's weeks upon weeks of one step forward, 3 steps back, a person can start to feel a little pessimistic. But then I see Phoebe attacking her work with that same fervor that I mentioned earlier, and it makes me want to jump right back in there and fight the good fight once again. So on behalf of my family, on behalf of the Anishinaabe Nation and my local community, I want to thank Phoebe for all the work that she does, and I want to congratulate her on her award. Chime Gwich Niji Miu.
What wonderful confirmation that this award is well deserved.
That was so nice. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. We're glad that we could do this tonight. So we'll move on to our next presenter, and that is Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes is the chair of the Governor's Task Force on Climate Change, and he's a former MEA board member. Like our next award winner, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes was a community organizer. And that's a connection that Rafael and the Lieutenant Governor share, but it's also a connection with MEA. Because when Mandela Barnes was a community organizer, he was a community organizer for Milwaukee Intercity Congregations Organizing for Hope, otherwise known as MICA. And MEA represented MICA and the Black Health Coalition of Wisconsin in a successful challenge to the use of federal transportation dollars for a freeway expansion that had a disproportionate impact on communities of color, leaving them with many of the environmental harms, but few of the benefits. And as we hear from Lieutenant Governor Barnes, you'll hear in his words why that kind of environmental justice analysis is necessary and essential in how we address climate change and protect the environment. Turning it over to Lieutenant Governor Barnes.
Hey, what's up, MEA family? It's Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. I'm so excited to be joining you all for the 2020 Bill Iwen Environmental Justice Awards. And while I wish we could be there in person to celebrate the awardees and all the important work they're doing in person, like we have in the past, we can't do that right now. And I want to thank the event organizers at Midwest Environmental Advocates and all the attendees for still continuing to take this pandemic seriously and transitioning this to a virtual event, which is not easy. And as a former board member, I know that the work of MEA and their mission to defend the public rights and keep watch over our state's natural resources is incredibly important, even in this moment, as it was for the previous 8 years. And while COVID-19 has changed the way that all of us live our lives and do our work, it hasn't changed the need for us to fight for equity and sustainability or the need for us to protect our environment. In fact, it's only made all of these issues more of a priority as we continue to see how poor environmental conditions can contribute to the disproportionately high rates of COVID-19 in certain communities, whether that's PFAS or other contaminants that poison the water and the land that is sovereign to indigenous communities, or if we're talking about the increased air pollution that contributes to higher rates of asthma and other respiratory illnesses in communities of color, like the ones that I grew up in. And that is why this work is important, because low-income communities are also suffering as a result and being impacted by most of the climate crisis, despite playing a very small role in contributing to it. And that's why my work as chair of the governor's task force on climate change, we have taken on the task of prioritizing environmental justice every single step of the way, whether it's the makeup of the task force to the presenters that we've had to come speak at task force meetings and our listening sessions. We've been very intentional and very deliberate about including and uplifting the voices of those that haven't traditionally been heard in environmental work. And these are the people who are working on climate change and environmental issues in our state, not just today, but who have been doing so for quite a long time. And that's why I'm thrilled to be celebrating someone who's been in this fight since long before our task forces were created. Someone who's been working on the ground to make sure that we achieve economic justice, racial justice, and climate justice together. And that's my friend Rafael Smith. Rafael is the Climate and Equity Director at Citizen Action of Wisconsin. Another great organization in our state, another great organization I'm proud to have ties to. Now, whether he focuses on the ways that climate change disproportionately impacts people of color on the north side of Milwaukee, or his work to fight against environmental justices in communities all across our state, we need more leaders like him, because he lends his voice and his expertise to the Milwaukee City County Task Force on Climate and Economic Equity, among so many other environmental justice issues and with so many other environmental justice leaders. I've known Rafael for a few years now. I've watched him fight tirelessly for justice as an organizer and a leader, whether it was time advocating for working people in the fight for 15, or his time organizing faith communities, much like my background. Rafael's organizing is motivated by his own firsthand experiences with injustice. And that's part and parcel why he's such an effective organizer and advocate. And now in his role as Citizen Action, he's working on the front lines of the movement for environmental justice. And we cannot appreciate his work more than we already do. This is for clean air, clean water, and land for people in his community and beyond his own community. I know that people like Rafael will be the ones who lead us to a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. With that, I'm honored to present Rafael Smith with the 2020 Bill Iwen Environmental Justice Award, but I also want to add that it is not easy to keep good organizers, so Citizen Action makes sure that you do what you can to keep them happy, because sometimes organizers go off and run for office, and we see what happens when that happens. So again, congratulations, Rafael. This award is truly deserved. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the incredible things that you do moving forward. Thank you again, Midwest Environmental Advocates. I cannot just express how much I appreciate all the incredibly hard work that you all do. Proud to have called you partners, proud to still call you partners in this work for environmental justice. Thanks so much, and I long for the day where we can do this in person.
Rafael, the Lieutenant Governor, said it well. We all believe that you are so deserving of this award. It is our honor to present it to you. And so the floor is yours.
Thank you. That was a great surprise. I didn't know the Lieutenant Governor would be introducing me. That is awesome. Anybody who knows me knows that this type of stuff I'm not good at. You know, I try to play the background and, you know, just keep my head down, do the work. And I started a speech, crumbled it up, threw it away. Started a speech, crumbled it up, threw it away. And I was having a conversation with a colleague today, and they said, speak from the heart. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So forgive me if I ramble, forgive me if I go on a little bit too long or too short. Just forgive me. First, I would just like to show this beautiful award I was given. It has a lot of smudges on it. I've been looking at it all day. Yeah, I've been looking at it all day. This is amazing. I would like to thank MEA, Lieutenant Governor Barnes, and Jody Havish for nominating me and giving me an award. You know, you don't do this work to gain recognition. I do it out of a deep love and passion for my community. Whatever I am, I'm a product of the Harambe neighborhood here in Milwaukee's North Side and Milwaukee's North Side, period. I am the second oldest of 7 to a single mother who I watched walk to work every day just to make it to a bus stop by 7 o'clock in the morning with other working class Black folks. And that inspired me to do the work that I do today. I knew all the stereotypes and generalizations that stigmatized Black people in this country wasn't true. I saw working class Black people get up every morning. So I spent my life seeking what was the answer to it. And I spent a large portion of my life angry without anywhere to funnel my energy. And it wasn't until I really got into organizing and I found the right self-defense mechanism. And I really do see organizing as self-defense. And it's just been my pleasure to do work on behalf of my community. With that, I also would like to thank Citizen Action of Wisconsin. It's been amazing. I haven't had this much ability to work on the things that I'm passionate about throughout my career. And they have allowed me not only to work on the task force and being part of that, but also to start our very own Northside Co-op. That main purpose is to build power on the north side of Milwaukee to address the issues around climate and environmental justice. It's a space that for a large portion of time has left out Black and brown people of color. And it's just great to have the opportunity to build power around those issues. I also would like to give thanks to my mom, Joyce Smith. She wasn't able to make the call tonight, but it wasn't for her love and her leadership, along with my grandmother, I gotta say her name, Anna O'Neill, my aunt, Rita Smith, and Carmen Smith, and my uncle, DeMarco O'Neill. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And lastly, I would just like to say, look, the work that I do is a passion project, and I love doing it. And I think 10 years from now, if we're able to say that we got a Milwaukee Green New Deal that allows people to breathe clean air, to work a living wage job, and drink clean water, my life mission will be complete. So again, I would like to say thank you for the recognition. It's always good to see that your work is making an impact, and I will see you in the fight. Thank you.
Rafael, thank you so much. You thanked Citizen Action, and they have some things to say back to you, some thanks to give to you. So let's play that.
Robert Craig, Executive Director of Citizen Action of Wisconsin, and I'm making this video to congratulate Rafael Smith, we call him Rafi, our Climate and Equity Director, for winning the Bill Iwen Environmental Justice Award from Midwest Environmental Advocates. I think it's a great honor and very well deserved on Rafi's part. He's a wonderful organizer, a great person. I mean, just a joy to work with.
Hey, Rafi. Matt Brusky here. Congratulations on winning the Midwest Environmental Advocates Environmental Justice Award. I can't think of anyone more deserving. The work you are doing right now, organizing in Milwaukee for a Green New Deal that actually centers equity and making sure that folks who've been left out of the economy are actually dealt in when we do a Green New Deal, and we will do a Green New Deal, is absolutely critical work. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award, and this award at this time It is so critical that we start to make serious advances in dealing with the climate crisis and do it in a way that creates equity and prosperity for everyone. And you're just a beautiful person for centering that. So congratulations. Love you, Rafi, and just hope this is a wonderful night for you.
Without Rafael's hard work, diligence, perseverance, the city of Milwaukee would not be as far along with the Green New Deal as we are. Rafael's work is not just saving lives in the long term. He strives every day to make sure that there are real changes right now that improve the ability of us all, no matter the color of our skin, what's in our wallets, or where in Wisconsin we live, to lead safe, healthy, and prosperous lives, and to live in a beautiful city and state. Thank you so much, Rafi, for all that you do, the way that you do it, and for being my mentor and my friend. Congratulations on winning the Bill Iwen Environmental Justice Award.
Awesome, thank you. That is awesome. Before I go, congratulations to Philomena and all the amazing work that she's doing as well. This is a night of surprises, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Rafael, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I know that we've been able to honor just two outstanding and deserving champions for environmental justice. The honor is really, really all ours. Before we conclude, we have one more speaker for you tonight, everyone. I'm going to turn the floor over to MEA board member Dan Collins.
Hi, my name is Dan Collins. I'm a board member with Midwest Environmental Advocates, and I've been asked to offer a few words of encouragement for your support of our organization as you reflect on this evening's event. We're so pleased to honor the work of our distinguished awardees, Philomena, Kebec, and Rafael Smith, and we're ever hopeful that they continue to inspire us and others. We are also honored by our special guests this evening, Winona, LaDuke, and Mandela Barnes, who continue to enlighten our thinking and lead by example. Your support in the form of efforts, funds, and goodwill is what keeps our organization moving forward as we work to build a society that's based on honoring the earth. I'm reminded that there's no such thing as a small gift, and that gifts of all types are welcome. We live in an odd time of both abundance and scarcity. Maybe you have an abundance of activist friends that need to know about MEA, and you want to share that. Maybe you have an abundance caused by the lack of regulation in the stock market, and you wish to share. Or maybe you have an abundance of hope, and you want MEA to know about that. I'm asking you to reflect for a moment if you have an abundance and you'd like to share. Share in service of the earth and its people. If you wish to make a gift in the form of your efforts or ideas, I would encourage you to contact Hannah Mortensen in our office. If you have a monetary gift you wish to make, please check out our website and click the donate button. I hope the inspiration offered by tonight's event resonates deep in your heart. I hope that you mentally revisit the words and sentiments that were shared tonight. We thank you for your support, and we look forward to our continued journey together. Thanks.
Dan's message about abundance is a perfect place to conclude tonight. Our award winners have enriched the world, and you all have enriched us by joining us and through your time and support. And we need you to continue to stand with us as we stand with those who are facing environmental threats. Time and time again, we have learned that if we invest in those people and communities who are in harm's way, we get out of their passion and tenacity not only a healthier environment, but also an abundance of hope and inspiration to move us all forward. So as Dan said in the chat, you will find links how you can contribute to the effort. As we conclude, I want to thank everyone who made tonight possible, including our award winners, also our entire team at MEA, including Peg and Hannah. Especially, I want to thank the sponsors of tonight's event and to our distinguished presenters for contributing to just a wonderful, inspiring, and uplifting evening. Thank you all very much, and have a good night.